MichaelBrown has made it to the top of two very challenging careers, Mountaineer and Filmmaker. He summited Mount Everest 5 times, won 3 Emmy Awards, and filmed more than 50 expeditions across all 7 continents. He shoots in some of the world's most challenging environments, and he obviously enjoys adventure, but he also loves to teach. Michael is the founder of the OutsideAdventureFilmSchool, and he's here with us today. Thanks for coming, Michael.
Thanks, Julia.
Well, tell us about the school.
Well, the school grew out of a love for mentoring and the enjoyment that I get from being present when somebody picks up something new and they just react to it. They get really excited when something works for them that they couldn't do before, like frame up a great shot that works, or get good sound on a clip, or tell a great story. That's the biggest one.
And what actually goes on at the school? You know, give me an example of the day in the life of one of your students.
Well, a typical day for the film school is going to be really intense because it starts early in the morning. We try to get the good light in the morning, but it's just go, go, go all day long. And because we're doing actual expeditions or events, they get the reality of it, which is it's really challenging to actually get footage when you're also climbing a mountain or kayaking a river.
I would think, yeah.
All those things. So but we try to get through it all, and by the end they have enough footage to put something together. And
okay, so it's a week-long course, and you've got these great courses all over the world, right? Now, so where do we go, and what would students learn?
Well, they can be a week long. That's kind of our typical length, but we have workshops that are as short as 3 days up to, for example, our latest trip was we went to Nepal with 11 wounded veterans, and 10 of the team members from our climb of Everest in 2001 with blind climber Eric Weinmeier. And so the students for the film school were the crew, and they all had cameras, or they took turns doing sound or producing or whatever it took in order to be a great film crew to make this production work.
Nice. I think we actually have a clip of that.
All right, here we go, here we go.
My name's Rex Pemberton, and we just got back from Nepal. We just travelled to Boulder, Colorado to take part in the post-production course for the OutsideAdventureFilmSchool. I really wanted to take my filming to the next level. I heard about work that MichaelBrown had done, and I thought, what a better way to take my filming to the next level than to go on his course and learn from the best. We took a bunch of wounded warriors from Iraq and Afghanistan that have been hurt in a number of different ways, from post-traumatic stress to lost limbs to completely blind, and we guided them up a 20,000-foot mountain called Mount Loboshe. We filmed the whole process to make a documentary. We were climbing from about midnight all the way through to sunrise and get a really nice shot overlooking the whole entire backdrop Himalaya and get the climbing team moving up and past. On the rest days, I would get up early in the morning and hike up the hills a couple of thousand feet and then glide amongst the highest mountains in the world, and that was something very, very special.
Yeah, baby! Flying the Himalaya!
Yeah, so I'm editing the summit section for the film school, and it's quite the challenge because it's obviously one of the most dramatic parts of the film.
Where I'm at is I don't think the summit stuff comes down to one emotional moment. I think it's a lot of emotion, and there's a lot of characters involved in the summit.
There's quite a lot of footage to go through, and it's going to take time, but I'm just trying to sift through and find the exact clips. That's challenging right now.
For some of these guys, it's going to be the hardest day of their life because they've never been in a situation like this. It's almost like stepping onto the moon. It's going to be the hardest thing some of these guys do. It's going to be the hardest day of their life.
Overall, the course was absolutely fantastic. You know, we got put in the field with the warriors, and we were able to go on expedition and learn while doing.
What a great experience for your students. I know, firsthand, it's different when you're filming outside. Adventure filmmaking is very different from shooting in a studio, right? You've got all these challenges, and I know that there's a lot of filmmaking courses out there, but they don't necessarily train you to film outside.
Yeah, and because we go and do something real, and even though I may not have been able to write down what the things that they learn are, they'll come up with questions as they go. They're about ready to go to 17,000 feet in Nepal, and so it's like, oh yeah, you've got to have some warm shoes.
Right.
Well, what about, I mean, there's no outlets
No.
at 17,000 feet in Nepal, or what about your batteries? Like, it's cold up there. I mean, things like that you don't necessarily think of. Your students are learning.
Yeah, we go through all that stuff to make sure that they have everything that they need, and it carries forward as well. They'll always have that skill, and they'll always know exactly how to deal with cold, wet, lack of charging, all the things that might come up on kind of an expedition scenario rather than a studio scenario where you can charge your batteries anytime you want, or go down to the store and buy a new camera if you break it or something like that, because that's a big part of it, is making sure your equipment keeps functioning the entire time and that you take really good care of it.
Very nice. All right, well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks,
Really
Julia.
cool stuff.
Thanks, Ethan.
Still to come, I paddle into the surprisingly serene waters of Jamaica Bay in New York in search of a little urban adventure and a few striped bass. You're watching Outside Today, powered by Jeep.